All right, boys and girls, so we got to get going on the remainder of the stuff that we need to do for Mittens, the Legacy GT. So Owen and the boys at Grimmspeed sent us over a front mount kit. Now, you're probably asking, what the heck, they don't make a front mount kit for that car? Well, this is for the same kit that Tanner has on his WRX. And we're gonna try and see how close it is to fitting. Which, from us taking measurements and things earlier, we're pretty sure that it will bolt right up with maybe some very minor modifications. So we're gonna figure that out. They also sent over one of their blow-off valves so we can have the fun stu-tu-tu noises. So without any more spreading this intro out, let's start trying to fit this kit in. So I totally forgot I had to put the intake on here. So we got the Cobb intake on here as well, but I think we want to test fit and see just how close these all match up between this chassis and the WRX. So we're gonna start by putting the core on, just see how everything lines up. The only thing that I saw as being a potential issue with this is on the WRXs, they have a plastic bracket that goes underneath here and it doesn't get reinforced down here. On Legacies like the BPs, I have this whole bracket that normally holds the giant front crash beam. And this bracket stays normally because you have a little piece here that comes off this bracket that is actually the lower support for this. Now, after kind of looking at things, it's just a locator pin in reality, because it goes on here and then it bolts up and wraps over here. The bumper doesn't actually have a spot where that clips in. So that shouldn't be a big deal with that missing. The only thing I could see is it may be a little more sloppy once we take that off. So I was sitting here and considering like, oh, maybe I'll make a bracket that comes off this that still has these and all that, but I don't think I need to put that effort in, and I'm sure you guys wouldn't either. And the main kind of purpose of this is, does the Grimmspeed kit fit nicely on a BP chassis? And that's what we're trying to achieve. So let's go about test fitting this, and then I'll tell you about any problems I encounter in the process. Moment of truth.
That looks weird. In a good way.
Shut up.
No, in a good way. I've just never seen one on a Legacy. That's why I say that.
It looks sweet, dude.
I like it.
So me and Tanner did a lot of like measurements. Yeah, which was more or less eyeballing both cars without any front intercooler or any crash beams on them. And we were like, yo, these look exactly the same in the front as far as all the bolts. So yeah, they totally are. So GR 2008 to 2014 STI bolts up to the BP chassis. A couple of things to mention on this as far as fitment. Judging from how those look, I think it's going to stay above the bumper. I really hope to God it's gonna stay above the bumper, because if it's poking out of the bottom, that's gonna be really weird. But these side brackets bolt to that hole. I do have the front crash beam as well, which use up the top 2 holes and that bottom right hole. As far as any modifications that we had to do to make this thing fit, I did have to take that off. That does not work with it. And then I had to take the lower bracket off, but I had to bend the subframe. I mean, you have to make modifications with any front mount, so that's really not bad. And the only things I foresee being an issue moving forward with this install is the fact that this is a 5EAT and it has the cooler lines for the transmission down there. So one of the pipes is supposed to feed through there, so I'm probably gonna have to bend those, I'm assuming, but so far so good, fingers crossed. Let's hope everything else goes according to plan. Crash beam bolts up too. Or the one thing I really wanna see real quick is how fucked off the bumper is trying to fit this on there. Yeah, boy.
Oh, yeah. That frog light's totally not going to work.
gonna be great. Actually, it won't stick out below the bumper, but I'm gonna have to cut everything out on the inside. And then I may have to get rid of the fog lights. Sweet!
Get rid of the floodlights?
Yeah, they're kind of large.
I'm coming, let me look.
Ah! Okay, hurry. There's spiders and shit on the inside of this. I don't
Okay,
like
I'm here.
You want to just take one side?
No, this is more fun.
Okay.
It's not going past this point.
I know. You're gonna have to modify the shit out of your bumper, heads up. But who didn't know that? Well, I ran into a bit of a fucking problem, friends. So this Morimoto, the Moroso upper coolant expansion tank is not going to work with this because it sticks out too far. I was looking forward to using it. It was given to us and I wanted to use it, but if you look, the holes on this actually comes like right in here, whereas this one, the holes are there and the whole thing sits way over here. So this kit needs this pipe to sit like right there, because if it's on top of this, it's still hitting even with all this stuff removed, so I can't close the hood. And when I put the other pipe on there too, it's just gonna screw things up more. So I'm gonna have to take this off and get the factory one back on, which I'm pretty sure is going to require me to reroute the lines I put through here back around the back here, and that's all gonna suck. So, boo! So let's start doing it. That way, it's done. Words of wisdom. Let's start doing it. That way it's done. And I really hope this battery comes back to life.
Now I gotta explain to everyone on YouTube why it took me an hour to put a belt on. A drive belt. An accessory belt.
I mean, it was a simple mistake.
Was it?
It was a simple mistake. We figured it out. Did some things behind the scenes. I was checking out and trying to see, because Tanner had welded a bung on here for the IAT sensor. And my Visconti kit only came to like here. It came here max, and I wanted to route it all nice and clean underneath so you really wouldn't see it coming out of here. It wouldn't stick up there. So now I have it so you can't see it coming out of the box. It runs underneath all this, and I cut and extended it out. So now we've got this all wired up. We extended out the line so it'll reach and not be a problem. I just test fit this side on. I was able to get everything cleaned up on this side. So we've got our factory upper coolant expansion tank in there. And now I can cut these zip ties and start putting this kit on more. So let's get going, and I'll let you know if I run into any other issues. Alright, boys and girls, it is the next day, and I have this kit fully installed, and I have very, very good news for you. This bolts up perfectly! No modifications to the kit aside from us adding this little bung here for the IAT sensor, which is completely optional, but everything bolted up perfectly fine. I've got it mounted to the manifold, going to the throttle body. Coming off here, I did have to mess with everything a little bit, and that was just getting everything to fit the way that I wanted, to where it looked clean and dodged all the little pieces like the frame rail and all that. But front mount is on there, front crash bar on as well. This thing looks good, and it's probably going to perform really well as well. One thing I did want to note on here as far as fitment, and this is going to go for pretty much any front mount that you go to put on, you're going to have to modify the car a little bit. I had to bend down the lower subframe in the front, just at the pinch welds. I had to grab them and kind of bend them down so that wouldn't hit. That's gonna go for pretty much anything that you're going to put a front mount on. On the side, I made my own little bracket because I did not have that bracket in my kit. And then around the side, I just made sure everything had ample room and wasn't like rubbing on anything. But this came out super good. So now we have the fun part of this, and that is how much of the front bumper are we going to have to cut to make it fit on here? And do we think those fog light housings, which stick out like a foot, are going to hit this? We'll find out. Guys, this is going so amazing. Swimmingly. This is bad. Those are my fog lights. I had to get rid of my fog lights. Look at this. I'm still not fitting at all. So USDM bumpers are probably a no-go. Because I'm looking at cutting out this entire fucking guy right here. Because this all hits. So yeah, I'm kind of working with a body saw, and trying to get into this spot with a body saw is just not working very well.
I will give you kudos for something.
What?
First one to do this.
I know. I feel like I've cut this up so terribly right now, and I'm going to have to cut this all the way in, and I really don't want to lose this guy, my little tow hook cover. So I may have to just cut this along with it.
That's what I did. I cut mine.
I'll cut along with it and use some like 3M or something.
No,
but
look at mine. Look at mine. You can reference mine, 'cause I have to do the same.
and I'm going to cut straight along this now, but I really wish I still had the quick disconnect cutters for my rotary tool, because that would make this way easier to make clean. Oh God, what have I done? Okay. Well, we're going to get back to it, and the next time you see this bumper, it's going to look just fantastic. Just beautiful. The best thing you've ever seen.
It'll look so good.
Yeah,
It'll probably look good on my WRXs. If you look at it, dude, I didn't do the cut straight.
My cuts aren't straight.
Never mind.
Look at this one. Oh, man. All right. We're good. We'll get back to it. think I am finally happy with this thing. I just got done finishing up trimming the bumper. Since I had no support to be able to put this on anymore, I plastic welded the tow hook cover back onto the car. So this is all one piece, and I think it kind of brings back some of the uniformity of the front bumper, so it doesn't look terrible. But that is our Grimmspeed front mount for the 08-14 WRX and STI on a BP. So there you go, it does fit. Good deal. Okay. Can I do my outro real quick? Will you let me do that? Will you let me do that? You are a crazy boy.
Paw. Other paw.
Alright guys, that's all I've got for you in this video. I gotta go take my dog to get coffee or else he's gonna kick my ass. So if you guys like the video, hit that like button, let me know. Subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See you later.